Back in 2012, Marvel Studios captivated the whole world with its first Avengers movie. It was a well-crafted film that not only showed that superhero movies could be very fun and entertaining, but also quite close in scope and scale to the comics. It was an epic undertaking that earned the relatively young studio a big payoff critically and financially. Following that success, here comes this highly anticipated sequel, riding on the back of one of the most extensive and ferocious publicity campaigns of all times. But is the second installment as good or even better than the original film? Or can its larger starring cast and multi-million-dollar budget set it on a level of its own? Well, there is only one way to find out, and we are heading straight there to get those answers. The movie begins action-packed and the fast pace is maintained throughout the film. From the first moment as in an amusement park, we are welcomed to an exhilarating and enticing ride. It is definitely a great start worthy of a blockbuster film. It is good to know that Joss Whedon is a great director and he knows how to pay homage to the Marvel Universe, even after the painful but necessary deviations from the original story. Marvel purists can rest assured that the most important traits of their beloved characters are left untouched. The film feels like an Avengers story for sure. Characters are well defined and their chemistry is undisputed. Much of these actors and actresses have been at this for the past 7 years, so their interactions with one another feel for the most part very fluid. The fights and the CGI are really spectacular. Surely the technology applied is the best the film industry can offer. Watching Hulk vs. the Hulkbuster and War Machine fighting alongside Iron Man will make you even jiggle with joy. One of the greatest things of the film is the high level of fan service. Although the movie is directed towards a wider audience, it definitely provides a good amount of Easter eggs for comic book fans. It is also a family-friendly film, so it is safe for everyone to watch. One of the most important elements of the movie is that it showcases the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming together. We can clearly see the direction the franchise is heading to and what is ahead. These are certainly exciting days for all of us. Sadly, there are many subplots in the story and subsequently the main plot gets lost in the middle. This is disappointing, especially when the name of the film is Age of Ultron. For the most part, it feels less than the title and more about the state of mind and psychology of each character. There is even an unconventional romance between two important characters that feels forced and unnatural. These heavily melodramatic moments are certainly not the best part of the film. In trying to tie the universe and upcoming sequels together, the movie gets forced to have extra scenes that at the end are unnecessary and a hindrance to the main story. Most of these scenes could have been easily left out to improve the quality of the storytelling. By now, most viewers are well aware of the franchise, its main characters, and their personal stories. Although jokes are funny for the most part, many are bouncing off from one another at the most inappropriate times. The necessary tension is cut more than often by these bits of light humor, leaving you with a sense of unfulfilled satisfaction. Also, in trying to maintain the family-friendly rating, you get the impression that the movie holds back from its true potential. Personally, I'm a fan of superhero movies that appeal to all ages, but I believe that a story should stand on its own merits and without the restrictions of mandatory crutches. A family-friendly film can be entertaining without feeling dull or shallow. Ultron as a villain leaves a lot to be desired as well. Due to the length of the film, his origin is rushed and poorly explained. The character is emotional, egotistical, and childish. He's too philosophical at times, but without proper focus. Although I like James Spader as the criminal Red Reddington in The Blacklist, it is hard for me to see him as Ultron. For the most part, he is disconnected, uninteresting, and even his voice does not match the character on screen. It is important to note that Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner, finally takes a front seat. He is no longer the guy with the bow and the arrow, but the guy that is ready to fight for what is right and for his friends. His performance is definitely one of the greatest highlights of the film. Elizabeth Olsen, the younger sister of the Olsen twins, is a delight as Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. She does not have many lines to say, but she fits the character well. She certainly has a lot of potential within this cinematic universe in the years to come. Vision is masterfully portrayed by Paul Bettany, who also plays the voice of Jarvis. His demeanor and his speech are right on point. His appearance and representation are taken straight out of the comics. All in all, Avengers Age of Ultron is a good movie, but not without its faults. Sadly, these faults are self-inflicted wounds caused largely by the great success of the franchise as a whole. In the last decade, we have seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe grow and expand in a dramatic way. We had witnessed the rise of superheroes that were, for the most part, relegated to comic books. This newfound level of pop fame puts these movies under the public microscope. It makes the job of the studio a difficult task and a treacherous path to navigate in order to please the crowds. It also limits the capacity of these films to break cinematic ground while appealing to its wide mixed audience. Although this is a well-produced film, it fails to captivate the attention the same way the first movie did. Even with its larger and very talented cast, it falls short from its true objectives. It is certainly fun and entertaining, but not memorable or one step above previous films. Unfortunately, the movie feels more like a bridge or an intermission rather than a standalone film. The final result is somehow disappointing, especially when movies like Captain America, First Avenger, and The Winter Soldier are great examples of what can be achieved in this regard. Ultimately, Age of Ultron is a good addition to the Marvel collection, but not one-of-a-kind film. Hopefully, the next one can rectify the shortcomings. Final score, 7 out of 10. Well, I hope that you liked this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You have any questions, leave your questions below. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, also on Twitter. Once again, thank you for taking the time. I'll see you in the next review. Thank you, my friends.